Hello and welcome. This is the 5 at 5 show, and my name is Ashok Nambudiri. As you're aware, Boria and the team are traveling to Colombo and to bring you all the news on the match on the 15th. There's a lot of excitement building up, but more on that later. Today, we are going to focus on the India versus Namibia match, and the more important question today that we are posing is given the injury scare that the India team is facing, what are the options in front of India? And to that extent, today's match is not really that critical in terms of India facing off with Namibia, but what the team would like to do in terms of options is the real question. As we know, we've got Abhishek Sharma who's down with the stomach infection. We are still not sure as to whether he's going to be coming back and playing today, but we do know that on the 7th of February, and it doesn't seem like 5 days ago, that when he went out to bat at the Wankhede and he that back of a length ball which he tried to hit towards deep cover, and he was out, caught Sanjay Krishnamurthy, bowled Ali Khan for a zero on the first ball. It did seem at that time that he looked a little out of sorts, and now it's confirmed that indeed he had this stomach bug and he was down with that infection, but he continued to play, and that's when he had to go to the hospital to try and figure out what the problem was. So we do not know today at this point of time whether he is fit and whether he is raring to go for the tie against Namibia. But in the outside chance that Abhishek Sharma is not going to be able to play, does Sanju Samson come back and get another opportunity to open the innings? And is that therefore yet another chance for Sanju to make his mark? Is the question we are asking. But as the drama unfolds, that's not the only part of the jigsaw puzzle that's open. So yesterday at the nets, Gargi, Raut, and Rohit Juglan reporting from the net practice, they told us the story and they broke the story about how Ishan Kishan was injured at the nets. He had a scare facing Bumrah and he hurt himself on the toes. And, they described in great detail how he had to hobble his way out and he had to kind of throw his batting gear all over and then get attended to by the medical team. Now, what happens if Ishan Kishan also is unable and is officially ruled out by the team? And given the current build-up towards the 15th, maybe there is a chance that the team would say, okay, let's manage workload and let's give them both an opportunity to take a break. Then it doesn't become an issue of options in front of India, tactical options, but it becomes a more structural question. I'm reminded of the times when India has been through similar kinds of situations and what has happened. Let me come back to that in a minute. But today on the show, we will have Gargi Raut and Rohit Juglan joining from the practice at the stadium in a little while. But in the meantime, let's just look at what could be the options. One obviously is if Sanju Samson is coming in place of Abhishek Sharma and Ishan Kishan is fine, then it's a straight option where Sanju gets yet another chance to reprieve himself. There is an opportunity for him to have gone back to the drawing board, fixed that confidence issue, and we spoke at length about perhaps how it was a mental confidence issue. Here's a person who's proven his talent beyond doubt. The build-up to the selection, to the final team, came on the backdrop of the fact that he was our best bet to open the innings. And given that Shubman Gill was out, he got in a chance and then he came in and came into the team. But we saw how the performance against New Zealand was not up to the mark. And we agreed that it was more of a confidence issue where he was going back and across, exposing his stumps and getting out with poor footwork. And perhaps, which is the reason why, Ishan Kishan got the chance to come in and start off the innings. But will this now give him a chance ahead of Colombo to reprieve himself and to have yet another go is the question that we are asking. He has all the talent, he has all the experience, and so is there an opportunity make good is the question. We have Rohit joining from the stadium. Rohit, hi, welcome to the show. How does it look there?
Yes, so at this point of time, if you see, there's a lot of them already here. Let me just show you. Let me just give you a glimpse of it, that how things has been. The line you can see, it's I think it's about to the security people are about to come here, and they are at this point of time. It's not that heavy, but we all know that it's still five past 6, so it's not that that crowdy at this point of time. But you can see right behind me also. There's a lot of them already here. The super fans are already here giving. They've started to give interviews, and yeah, as far as this game is concerned, we all remember that Delhi with the India game. This is the only game only India game Delhi is getting. So maybe we can expect a lot of crowd for this game. Yes, it's all sold out. We've been seeing all around that people here. When I'm just fixing my tripod, there are a lot of people that ticket kahan mil raha hai bhaiya, ticket kahan mil raha hai. They were just asking me this. And as far as the weather is concerned, it's really good. And why I'm talking about the weather thing, because as we talked about in our 12 p.m. show, that dew will be something which India has to tackle if they have to bowl second. So at this point of time, it's not looking like that. It's not looking like a major concern at this point of time. But yeah, the crowd is on. Everything is on. The atmosphere is good. I think we are very close to the Indian team arrival. Also, the Indian team arrival and the Namibia team arrival. So yeah, there should be a lot of stuff around. Ashok sir, there should be a lot of stuff around.
Excellent, Rohit. So we'll keep in touch with you, and as and when the teams start coming in, we will look at you to try and get us the updates from there. Gargi also joins us from the stadium. Gargi, Rohit and I were talking about the
Thank you, bhai.
situation there. The crowds are coming in. It's a fully sold out show today. And he said that the dew will not be a problem. It's something that we spoke about earlier at the 12 o'clock show in terms of the fact that the sun is out and perhaps dew won't be so much of a problem. What are you seeing out there, Gargi?
I am a little farther away from where Rohit is. Rohit is right in front of the main gate where the teams and all enter from. So he's going to see a lot more crowd than where I am. A little farther away from the stadium, but not too far. When it comes to view, this is something that I was talking in the morning as well. That when you compare the practice sessions, match day -2 had a lot more view compared to match day -1, which is, I'm not talking about, that an hour or two here or there. I'm talking a huge difference between the kind of view that we saw in match day -1 versus yesterday. Yesterday, it was much, much better. You could not actually, even if it was 9 p.m. and you sort of rubbed your hand on the grass, you still couldn't feel that much dew. So today as well, I think it's going to be a similar atmosphere, because it's not very cold. At this point, around 5, 6 p.m., it starts getting chillier. But at this point, you can stand outside normally without a jacket. So I don't think that sudden dip in temperature will happen today. Not sure about it. We will get back to, I'll report again on that when we do our pre-show live. But at this point, looking at what happened yesterday in the practice session, it does not seem like dew will be as much as what we saw on match day -2.
Excellent. Thank you for that update. As you can see, the crowds are pouring in. There's a lot of excitement, and dew doesn't seem to be an issue. But what we are discussing right now, Gargi and Rohit, I was in the midst of talking about the fact that given the injury, is this an option for Sanju Samson to come in and get a reprieve and try and prove himself all over again? And in the event that Ishan Kishan is not able to bat either, given the injury scare that he had at the nets and so beautifully captured by both of you yesterday, you had described in great detail. The question that I was asking before Rohit and you joined was, is this then an option that given both the openers not being available, does Sanju Samson then look at opening perhaps then with Washington Sundar as option 2? Is that something that the India team will consider? Or will it be that Surya Kumar Yadav, Captain Surya Kumar Yadav, promotes himself and comes in and opens along with Sanju? Is that kind of a third option. And is this therefore a structural thing that India will experiment with? Is the question that I was trying to pose. I'm going to go across to you, Rohit, first. Any thoughts or any updates in terms of are you getting in terms of the status on the injuries right now?
So as far as injuries are concerned at this point of time, there's this video going on in social media where the first 10 seconds of that clip, I'm really sorry, the first 10 seconds of that clip where the ball stuck on Ishan Kishan's left toe, first 10 seconds you'll get a you'll get a sense that, oh my god, is he out of the tournament, because that kind of reaction came out from Ishan Kishan, because it was a full throttle delivery from Jasprit Bumrah, and Ishan Kishan was very fresh as far as his guard is concerned, his time in the crease was concerned. It was very fresh at that point of time. So the first 10 seconds was giving you a vibe that it's gone from here. And the way he left, he just threw away his bat, and on one leg he just went out of the nets, and as soon as the team doctor saw him just lying down, he went across. But the kind of atmosphere was around the nets that gives you a sense of relief, because no one rushed towards Ishan Kishan at that point of time. And soon after Jasprit Bumrah came to Ishan Kishan, he asked him, and his body language told you the story, that it's nothing to worry about as far as that injury is concerned. So as far as Ishan Kishan is concerned, yes, the first 10 or 20 seconds will definitely give you a certain kind of a certain kind of fear that is he out of the tournament or not. But then after that, when the ice pack done and the other things were done, after that it was like that you were a little less worried about Ishan Kishan. And then he directly went to the nets, faced 3-4 deliveries, hit a six also, came down the line and just hit a ball out of the park. And then he quietly went out, and that self talk kind of thing by Ishan Kishan to himself told you that he is little relaxed at this point of time. After that, he was going towards the Virat Kohli pavilion, and he met to the DDCA director, Mr. Shyam Sharma, and he hugged him. Lot of chatter around there. And then I asked the gentleman, the DDCA director, that what was he talking about? Is he okay? Is there any ice pack routine? I'm very sure that when he went back to the hotel, or today morning also, the drill will be followed. The ice pack drill will be followed, because the bruise, you came to know about the bruise in the morning. Most often or not, especially in the times of winters, you came to know about it in the morning, that how it actually went out. So on one part, I'm not very much worried about Ishan Kishan, but I'm worried about Abhishek Sharma, because he was there in hospital. The tests were done. What I am hearing from my sources is that he's been told to, a 1 or 2 days of bed rest, because it was dehydration from the very start, from that South Africa game India played in the warm-up. And then again, he was not feeling well in that game versus USA. That's why he didn't came to field. He batted but didn't came out to field. And after that also, there was that video clip of Gautam Gambhir's when they went for the Gautam Gambhir house dinner session. Gautam said to him that jaldi kha aur chala ja, jaldi kha and chala ja, he said. And what I came to know is he only had that khichdi and dahi there. In 20 minutes, he was back into the hotel. So if you talk about the chronology, the timeline in last 1 week, you get an idea that he was not okay from that point of time, that South Africa game point of time. Dehydration came in, and then the stomach bug, and then obviously loss of lot of water there. And I don't think that India will aggressively take a call on Abhishek Sharma that let's get him into this Namibia game. I think they had ample time before that Pakistan game also. So I think they will take a call on maybe day after tomorrow, after reaching in Colombo. It's again, you all know that it's a 3 to 4 hour flight, charter flight, and then a 1 hour journey from the airport to the city. So I think they will take their time and then take a call on Abhishek Sharma. So you have a Sanju Samson on the other side, and then you have a Ishan Kishan, I think, all set. If not Ishan Kishan, then there could be a Washington Sundar. We can have a lot of chat around that who can open if both the openers are not ready. But yeah, Indian team have a lot of options around it. Ashok sir.
Yeah, thank you for that, Rohit. So looks like the Ishan Kishan scare is perhaps just a scare, and given the winter, etc., he seems to be recovered. Looks like it. Also, I'm very curious, in this mental conversation Ishan Kishan has had with himself, it looks like, it's flowing over into his game as well. He seems very, very determined. Now, if that's the situation, Gargi, let's then focus on Sanju Samson first, before we look at other options. So, does this mean that Sanju Samson then gets a look in, given that, the issue seems to be that Abhishek Sharma, it might be more a conservative measure where, he's asked to give it a little bit of a rest before the team heads out to Colombo. So, is this a chance for Sanju Samson to come back into the squad and, get an opportunity to be amongst the runs? Is that what is your thought on that?
My thought is, after looking at Sanju Samson on match day -2, and we spoke about it in detail about the way that he was struggling to connect the balls. But at the same time, he is your backup opener. You want him to be good. You want him to stay ready for whatever situation comes through. It's a long tournament. It's a 1 month long tournament, and all backups need to be game ready, which is why it's going to be important for Sanju to go out there, get his rhythm back. Yesterday, he was looking very good in the nets. He looked like his old self. And the kind of concern that I had on match day -2 wasn't there anymore, because it was just one of those off days where nothing's going right for you. The shots aren't connecting, the ball isn't coming onto the bat, and it looked like that sort of day for Sanju Samson. But at the same time, today will be important because you want Sanju Samson to be prepared for whatever situation. Abhishek Sharma, I know that Tilak Verma has been saying that he's fine. Ryan Tendoshkate has been saying that he's fine. While he is fine, I do not see, and in the past 2 days as well, I had no doubt that Abhishek Sharma would be rested for tonight's game, and it seems like that will be the case today as well. Sanju Samson going out there, getting some runs under his belt will be one of the most important confidence boosts that Sanju Samson will need. And of course, it's always best for Team India as well if their backup opener is ready. Going forward, anything happens. That Ishan Kishan injury could have very well been a broken toe. You never know what happens in a long tournament like this. People break down, bodies break down. There are injuries that come through. So Sanju Samson, in that regard, it will be very important for him to get some game time. On the other hand, even if he goes out there, scores a century, scores a brilliant knock, I don't see him replacing Abhishek Sharma if you're talking about the long run. So it's very clear that this is all about, of course, Sanju taking Abhishek's place. And even if he does brilliantly well, he will have to sit out once Abhishek Sharma comes back in.
Indeed, Gargi. We also have Bharat Ramraj joining us. Bharat, we were debating this question, if Abhishek Sharma is not fully fit, or if the team believes that it's better to kind of give him a reprieve, give him a little bit of a break before the team travels to Colombo. Does Sanju Samson get an opportunity to go back there and get in the middle of runs? Now, from a technical standpoint, Bharat, what do you think would be going through Sanju's mind, and what would be the kind of homework he would do before he gets into a situation like this?
Yeah, I guess it's both mental and technical. I think he's facing problems on both counts. It has to be like that because that is how it works when a player is out of form. Obviously, when you're out of form, you don't feel that kind of confidence when you go to the middle. Actually, I watched him practice before the final T20 against New Zealand in Trivandrum. Actually, he looked in good form in the nets. But as soon as he came out to play in the middle, it looked like he was a different batsman out there, very tentative. That tells you that he's currently not at all confident with regard to his batting. That is about the mental side of things. Yes, that could be technical points. He has been troubled by certain kinds of bowlers. If you look at what has happened over the last 1 year, one is Jofra Archer last year. He bowled straighter lines and bowled a lot of short deliveries. It could be because Sanju Samson likes to pull a lot on the front foot, not exactly someone who rocks back and pulls. So if you are someone like Mitchell Marsh or Harry Brook or whoever it is who are well over 6 feet, or even our Shubman Gill is 6 feet 2 inches, then it is quite easier, little bit easier to pull on the front foot. Otherwise, you have to kind of rock back and pull. That could be a problem there. And against Matt Henry, it could be a problem that has happened because he's trying to become a power hitter. That is basically he wants to clear the front leg, go back slightly, clear the front leg, stay leg side of the ball. That is something that a lot of modern day batters do, so that they can also access areas through the offside, not just to the onside. So what happened basically against Matt Hendry bowls a lot of these wobble seam deliveries. I think he was just leaving the stumps open, and he just bowled straighter lines with obviously the unpredictability of the wobble seam deliveries. The occasional delivery might have left him and rattled the stumps. So basically, staying leg side of the ball might have gone against him. Obviously, if you ask former cricketers, someone like W.V. Raman, I said that he has to adjust his downswing when it comes to facing bowlers with a little more pace, like around 140 kilometers per hour, 145 kilometers per hour. So his downswing could be a little bit slower, and that could be again because he's kind of out of form. So that could be the reasons on the technical front. If you start staying leg side of the ball, yes, it will help you when it comes to power hitting. But also because you are an opener here, yes, if he's coming at number 5 or 6 and he wants to stay leg side of the ball, that's fine. But as an opener, the first 2 overs, the ball will move around a little bit, and that is when I think he's facing that kind of trouble by staying very much beside the line of the ball.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so
Ashok,
coming to yes, Gargi,
I, I,
please go
I
ahead.
have something to say here. Sorry for interrupting you. There is a comment here by Narayanan. He's saying, what was the reason for our head coach, Mr. Gautam Gambhir, to host a dinner party at his residence in the midst of a T20 World Cup? Does any journalist have the spine to talk on this? I I know that Gautam Gambhir may not be the most favorite coach in the Indian setup when it comes to the Indian cricket fans, but at the same time, pulling shots at Gautam Gambhir for things like this seems absolutely unnecessary. What do you think? When the players are on tour, when the players are in the middle of a World Cup or something like this, an important marquee tournament, do you think players don't go out? Do you think players don't go out for lunches and dinners and maybe a couple of parties or something like that? They need downtime. They are human. They function like any other of us. If you think that all players do is sit in the hotel room, go to the ground, come back, and put that on repeat, that's not how it works. And what is the? I don't see any harm in there being a dinner. In fact, you can count it as one of the team bonding moments. So if you're going to, take shots at the management for absolutely no reason, and then take a shot at journalists as well for not having a spine for talking about a dinner party, come on.
For sure, Gargi. Yes, thank you for taking that comment, and we will take the comments that are coming in. Rohit, I don't know if you are there, but I'm very curious to check with you your response to this particular comment. I know you will have strong views on something like this, so I must ask you as well. Gautam Gambhir hosting a dinner party at his residence in Delhi for the team in between the T20 World Cup. Now, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What is your take on this one, Rohit?
So for as Gargi exactly rightly said, whenever you attend a World Cup, whenever you go for a World Cup, whenever you go for an ICC kind of event, there's lot of stuff like this already in the team plan. If you talk about other teams also, they are also having. I remember this covering Team Pakistan in 2023. They have selected their 4 restaurants in Hyderabad city where they started, where they started their journey from. And they sit in the bus, they went to specific restaurants, and then they have their all the things they needed, means be it the biryanis, be it any other thing. I'm not very much aware of the non-veg items, but they have their restaurants selected. In these kind of tournaments, if you get a home cooked food, that's good for the players. So if you are going to the Gautam Gambhir's place, rather than playing, rather than having a meal in a hotel, and Indian team players are very much specific to where to eat and where to not. They are not like that. Chalo aaj idhar chalte hain, chalo aaj udhar chalke khate hain. They are not like this. And there is a proper, earlier there has to be chefs around. What I am hearing at this point of time, that Pakistan team is also carrying chefs. So BCCI have already given the chefs to Indian players. They have categorically said that you guys can't be traveling with chefs around. We are the BCCI. We will provide you the chefs. So everything which this Indian team eat in these kind of tournaments and these kind of stuff, they are well checked. There is no point in complaining that why they went to the, if not the head coach, if there is any other country, suppose they were playing in England or they were playing in Australia, there must be something from the High Commission that come to the High Commission, have a dinner here. And I remember covering that India versus England series. Team went to the King's Palace. Team went to the the High Commissioner's house, and it happened all the way along. That in Zimbabwe also in Under 19 World Cup there was the High Commissioner was already there. So if you cover these kind of tournaments rather than asking these questions, or if you just get into the details of the planning of Indian cricket team, you'll easily know this, that this is not something weird coming out in their schedule. This was always part of the schedule, and this was and this is not the first time in this tournament also. If you see, check the profile of players, they must be visiting different restaurants. I don't want to name a restaurant, but yesterday 4 or 5 players were there in that particular restaurant. So it's not like that they have only this hotel place to eat. They have multiple plans, they will travel to multiple places, and they'll have multiple kind of food, multiple cuisine food. So it's just you don't have anything serious to ask, so you are questioning Gautam Gambhir, or maybe your hate is too much against this guy Gautam Gambhir, so that's why you're asking this question. But what Gargi said, I'm completely agree with that point.
Great. So there you have your answers, Mr. Narayanan. I think this is part of the building camaraderie outside of the game, outside of the net practice, outside of the match, is part of any series, and it goes with that. But I'm going to go across to you, Bharat, and ask you. I'm seeing a very interesting comment from from 5 Arms. I think that's the name, if I've not got it wrong. Bharat, the question that he's asking is, why should Sanju play? And I think this is very contextual. Why should Sanju play? Sundar should open and Ishan keeps. Addition to fielding and bowling, plus he can open bowling at Colombo versus Pakistan. So that's a very different point of view. Bharat, your views?
Simple reason for that is Sanju Samson has been designated as one of your openers. Even the selectors have said that he's played at that slot for a while. So it is very much common sense that he has to basically open the batting. See, you can't suddenly ask Washington. Yes, I understand that Washington Sundar can play different positions, but you suddenly can't ask some batsmen to go up the order and start bashing the ball. It's not so easy. And second point is, it's not like Washington Sundar has showcased a lot of power hitting over a period of time. He has struggled to do that. Yes, once he has done it in T20I cricket, that is against the legendary Sean Abbott. Yes, in quote marks, I'm saying. And maybe once or twice against, maybe in a test match, he somewhere did it against Gus Atkinson once. But I've not seen him do too much of power hitting. So basically, in the power play overs, the main factor is you have to go and play a lot of shots. So the should ideally back Sanju Samson, although I have my issues with this technique or with this present mindset, but still, it is unfair if the selectors don't look at Sanju Samson as the next option if Abhishek Sharma misses out, because he has opened for you for the last 1 year, and that is why they should ask him to open the batting as a replacement.
Okay. So I guess the last few minutes before we conclude the show, let's focus on the match today, India versus Namibia. And here's a comment from one of our regular viewers, freaking awesome. I'm going to combine these two comments, Gargi, for you and Rohit subsequently. First, he says, one of the boring days of this World Cup, all games are one-sided. It seems even Italy will beat Nepal. And the second comment he makes is that better we try some backups for the games against Namibia and Netherlands. We don't want our players to get injured before we get into the Super 8 stage. Your views, Gargi, first, and Rohit afterwards.
I disagree with both of those comments. I categorically disagree with the first one. There are no boring days in a World Cup. Yes, you might not have as much interest, but if you will always find an angle when it comes to cricket where you realize that something very interesting has happened. If you look at the first few games as well, the kind of cricket that USA played, the kind of cricket that Netherlands played, you saw India getting pushed to its limits. You saw Pakistan getting pushed to its limit. You saw England getting pushed to its limits by Nepal as well. So when it comes to these, I don't like to use the word minnows, but rather the associate nations, it's not necessarily that the days that they play, that it's going to be a boring day. I don't think so. if you want to look at it from a different perspective, you're not necessarily interested in knowing associate cricket. So look at it from an Indian perspective. You don't have an Abhishek Sharma. So what if, a situation like this arises once again in the tournament? Again, I repeat my point that it's a 1 month long tournament. What if the situation arises again and next time it is Ishan Kishan? Then who is the next player that comes in? Will Sanju Samson be able to go out there and take the pressure of a World Cup and get India what they need? Because what Ishan Kishan and Sanju Samson have been doing at the top is somewhat irreplaceable. This is the kind of firepower that most teams will not have. And even when India doesn't have it, there's a lot of firepower in the team, but at the same time, will India be able to replicate that same kind of impact at the top? So there are multiple, angles to look at it from. The other comment was about, what was it about?
Was it about the fact that we don't want our players to get injured before we get into the Super 8? And so better
No,
to try.
come on. You want game time. You want game time. There is no such thing as saving a player. All right? There is a huge difference between workload management and then deliberately not playing a player in hopes of not injuring them. So there's a huge difference between these two things. And if you're going to save your player every single time, kisko bacha ke rakhte hain, for the bigger game, then you're going to lose out on a lot of important game time, and you don't want to do that.
That's an interesting thought, Rohit. So what is your comment on this one? Do you kind of save your players, for the big ones that are coming up? It's going to be a long tournament, like Gargi said. Or do you kind of look at getting them more game time, getting them more time under the lights, and making sure that your top 11 is in prime condition, ready to fire all along? I guess, Rohit, can you hear me?
Just want to show you the visuals. The team is coming here first, and then maybe
For sure. There you have the visuals.
This is basically the team bus. You can see that. There's the India flag over it. Lot of wave arounds.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of excitement going on there.
So exactly as the question was there about I think in two parts, and if we see the first part was just a second, The first part, as the Gargi rightly said, if you see a Nepal versus England game, you won't say that you have to place this a little better. Or if you remember the 2024 T20 World Cup, and you see the USA team beating a Pakistan team, you won't say that you need better fixtures. So earlier we used to have one-off game like these. Ireland beating Pakistan in 2007, Bangladesh beating India in 2007 World Cup. Earlier there was one or two games in so many years, but this time around a lot of interesting games already in the cards. The way again Netherlands have played against Pakistan in that very first game of the league stage. You clearly have some potential in these teams also, and at the very early part of the tournament, these teams, the associate nations, have already seen that they are not here to participate only. Just for the token of participation, they are not here. They can play good cricket, and T20 cricket, that's why we say now it's very, you can't say 100% that this team will win or that team will win, because there is certain kind of uncertainty in this format. So I don't think that we have to fix it little better as far as the format is concerned. And then if you want to know the Ben Foakes story from England, he was there in the dressing room, just slipped on the sockses. So आप कितना बचा कर रख लोगे खिलाड़ी को? खिलाड़ी ड्रेसिंग रूम में सॉक्स पे पांव पड़ेगा और फिसल के गिर जाएगा और उसकी कमर चली जाएगी. और just the Rohit Sharma debut story. Rohit Sharma debut got delayed because वो फुटबॉल प्रैक्टिस कर रहे थे, फुटबॉल प्रैक्टिस करते हुए उनके पांव में मोच आ गई. There are multiple stories. जब किसी को इंजरी होनी होती है तो वो हो जाती है. मैनचेस्टर
चढ़ते पैर मुड़ गया.
एग्जैक्टली. तो आप ये कब तक किसको बचा कर रखोगे, वो पॉसिबल नहीं है. आप बहुत खतरनाक से खतरनाक मैचेस खेलते हो, and then after that also you will be able to participate in the next game also. And sometimes when an injury has to happen, it happens like आपको हंसी आएगी ऐसी इंजरी स्टोरी सुनते हुए कि अरे चलते चलते पांव जुराब पे पड़ा और खिलाड़ी ड्रेसिंग रूम में फिसल गया. और जस्ट सी द अभिषेक शर्मा स्टोरी ना, वो तो इंजरी भी नहीं है, जस्ट अ स्टमक बग. कहां से आया, कैसे हुआ, डिहाइड्रेशन हो गया, उसके बाद वो बंदा हॉस्पिटलाइज हो गया, टेस्ट हुआ, अभी पता भी नहीं है खेलेगा कि नहीं खेलेगा. पाकिस्तान गेम तक के लिए बेड रेस्ट बोल दिया तो फिर क्या होगा. So I don't. I means yes, you have to only protect the players, because when you have a workload management kind of thing कि भाई fatigue बहुत ज्यादा हो गया है, now we have to stop it. And they have proper devices. The BCCI players have proper devices. Even in the under 19s, I saw that. They have proper devices. That's why you saw that Dipesh Devendran didn't play all the matches, because he was your gun fast bowler, and that's why you want to keep him fresh for the knockout games. So yeah, I completely agree here with Gargi, whatever he said in the answer of both the questions, Ashok sir.
Yeah, got it. I think the principle is that you really can't design it against injury, right? You plan it for your best possible team, and that's how you need to proceed. Okay, so question to you, Bharat. Coming across to you quickly. This comment, though, in terms of the overall World Cup being boring so far, I'm surprised that comment came up, especially given yesterday's match where South Africa and Afghanistan, two super overs, and then followed by, I thought, what was a very interesting match where West Indies took on England. And I was very, very curious to see how the West Indies have shaped up as a bowling outfit. Shamar Joseph with all those Yorkers, I thought did a very, very good job, and it's going to be an uphill task for teams taking on West Indies. But your thoughts on the World Cup so far, broadly speaking?
I won't say it is boring, that's for sure. There have been some good games, as you already noted. Afghanistan versus South Africa. You can even say arguably the greatest T20 match. I'm talking about T20 match ever played, arguably. There are a few more, but two super overs with so many mistakes as well in between. That usually happens when there's a thriller. It was so much of a topsy-turvy game. So I think it is one of the greatest T20 games ever played. Then you think about that Nepal versus England, suddenly from nowhere, Nepal came very close to winning that match. So there have been enough of them. Netherlands versus Pakistan versus another one, which turned out to be an interesting game. And yes, for a while it seemed as if England versus West Indies would go down to the wire just for a while before the West Indies spinners got it right. Yes, Shamar Joseph bowled quite well, but I think the biggest difference is for me Gudakash Moti, something that I said even during the India Test series, that they somehow rested Moti because I think they want him to play a lot more limit overs cricket. Obviously, it didn't make much sense, but I think he brings something different to the table because he bowls that quickish spin, and also he bowls left arm wrist spin when needed. So I think Gudakosh Moti is a very much huge boost for them. His form, and someone like Roston Chase coming from round the wicket is doing, I think, a very good job as a defensive bowler in T20 cricket. As you can notice nowadays, it's not just about taking wickets; it's also about keeping the runs down, and that is where I think West Indies did quite well. And the interesting facet about West Indies cricket yesterday was they were at least looking to take singles and twos. I know a lot of their runs came through sixes, but still at least they were looking to take singles and twos. That is not something that you even associate with West Indies cricket for a period of time. So yes, they're looking quite dangerous because their spinners are doing well. I think that's the main factor to think about, especially in subcontinental conditions.
Yep. And on that note, we'll close this show. Clearly a couple of injury scares for India, but there's also an opportunity to build up backup scenarios, given that it's a long tournament. But thank you, Bharat, Gargi, and Rohit for joining in the show. Keep watching this space, because we are going to come back at 6 p.m. with the pre-match show. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the channel. Thank you.